What happens when a reality TV star's life becomes more dramatic than any script? This is a story of hidden love, a scandalous secret that threatened to tear a famous family apart, and a shocking pregnancy that changed everything. For Anna Johnston, the middle child of TLC's beloved Seven Little Johnstons, life was about to take a wild, unexpected turn away from the cameras. A secret boyfriend, a hidden romance, and a baby on the way before any wedding bells. This is the untold story the producers didn't fully capture. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll witness an emotional roller coaster leading to a $1 million wedding gift you have to see to believe. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for the real tea on your favorite reality TV families. To understand the gravity of Anna Johnston's secret, we must first understand the world she lived in. The Johnston family of Forsyth, Georgia, wasn't just any family. They were TLC's beacon of inspiration, a tight-knit unit of 7 little people, navigating an average-sized world with humor, love, and undeniable discipline. At the heart of this was matriarch Amber Johnston, strong-willed, organized, a mama bear with rules and expectations for her 5 children. And then there was Anna, always portrayed as the quirky, sometimes rebellious, often misunderstood middle child. The one who clashed with Amber's strict ways, the one whose entrepreneurial spirit and independent streak sometimes left her feeling isolated within the very family that loved her. Anna's journey on the show was public. Her struggles, her move to her own place, her quest for independence. Fans watched her grow, their hearts often going out to her. But what the cameras showed was merely the surface. It was the curated narrative, the perfect facade of a reality TV family. Behind the filmed family meetings and staged adventures, Anna was growing into a young woman with desires, dreams, and a longing for a love that was entirely her own, away from the producer's prompts and her mother's watchful eye. The pressure to be the good example, to live up to the family's public image, was immense. Every date, every friendship was potential storyline fodder. So what does a young woman start for genuine, private connection do? She goes underground. She creates a world so separate, so hidden, that not even the all-seeing eye of reality TV could initially penetrate it. This chapter isn't about scandal. It's about the why. It's about the immense weight of living a life where your personal milestones are public property, where your romantic failures are discussed in online forums. Anna craved normalcy. She craved a love story that wasn't a season arc, but a precious, fragile secret. And as we'll see, that craving led her to a fateful, ordinary day that would set the stage for an extraordinary and tumultuous chain of events. The facade was solid, but beneath it, cracks were already forming, and through them, a man named Zach was about to enter Anna Johnston's life. The world of finance is often seen as cold, all numbers and sharp suits. But for Zach, a 28-year-old investment banker climbing the ranks at a prestigious Atlanta firm, it was a world of order and logic he controlled. He was successful, discreet, and, crucially, entirely disconnected from the world of reality television. His days were filled with market reports and client portfolios, not camera crews and confessionals. He was, in every sense, the opposite of Anna's televised universe. And that was his magic. Their meeting was not scripted. It was a simple Tuesday afternoon in late October 2024. Anna was in the city for a meeting about her small business, a rare solo trip away from the family fold. Zach was on a break between back-to-back meetings, his mind buzzing with figures. At the counter of a bustling artisan coffee shop, their worlds collided with a simple, clumsy bump. Anna, reaching for her oat milk latte, turned just as Zach stepped back, sending his phone clattering to the floor. Apologies spilled from both. As Zach bent to retrieve it, their eyes met. For him, he saw a beautiful young woman with strikingly intelligent, slightly nervous eyes. There was no immediate recognition. For Anna, she saw a man who looked at her without a flicker of "I know you from TV." It was profoundly disarming. He was handsome in a classic way, his suit impeccably tailored, but it was his calm, unassuming smile that caught her off guard. Instead of a hurried apology and parting Zach, in a move he'd later call completely out of character, gestured to the only free table in the corner. "Can I buy you a fresh coffee to apologize for my clumsiness?" he asked. Something in his tone was genuine, not flirtatious. Anna, for the first time in years, made an impulsive decision with a stranger. She said yes. For an hour, they talked. Not about the show. Not about little people issues or family dynamics. They talked about terrible coffee, their favorite obscure movies, her passion for her business, his confusing love for vintage cars. He was fascinated by her entrepreneurial drive. She was intrigued by his quiet confidence and sharp wit, so different from the boisterous energy of her home. He asked thoughtful questions and actually listened to her answers. No cameras, no producer asking for a soundbite, just two people sharing a table and an unexpected connection. As they parted, Zach, ever the gentleman, simply offered his business card. "If you're ever in the city again and need a decent coffee recommendation," he said with a smile. Anna took it, her heart beating a strange rhythm. The name, Zachary Whitman, and the sleek bank logo felt like a token from another, more sophisticated world. She gave him only her first name and a burner email she used for business. The secret and the spark had been lit. A connection was made, but for Anna Johnston and Zach, a normal courtship was impossible. A public dinner? A walk in the park? A simple movie date? Each was a landmine of potential exposure. For Zach, the revelation of who Anna's family was came after a quiet, stunned Google search that night. The reality didn't repel him, it made him protective. He understood instantly the scrutiny she lived under, the lack of privacy. For Anna, this understanding was the ultimate aphrodisiac. He wasn't seeking fame, he was seeking her. And so, they built a fortress of secrecy, brick by careful brick. Their romance would live and grow in a series of borrowed, anonymous rooms. It started cautiously. A business networking lunch in a private booth at an upscale Atlanta restaurant, far from the Johnstons' Forsyth stomping grounds. Then, a girls' weekend cover story for Anna, who would drive to a boutique hotel in Chattanooga, where Zach would arrive separately. Their system was military in its precision. Burner phones with encrypted messaging apps, cash payments for everything possible to leave no digital trail. Zach, the banker, with his mind for logistics, became the master of operational security. He booked rooms under a trusted colleague's name with a flawless credit card history. They never arrived or left together. But within these secret rooms, a profound and genuine love story unfolded away from the world's eyes. This was their sanctuary. Here, Zach wasn't the rising banking star, and Anna wasn't the Johnston daughter from TV. She was just Anna, the funny, fiercely determined, sometimes vulnerable woman who loved bad reality TV and had terrible taste in pizza toppings. He was just Zach, the surprisingly goofy, deeply loyal man who could talk for hours about history and made her feel safe, heard, and profoundly normal. They'd spend weekends hidden away, ordering lavish room service, watching documentaries, talking about everything and nothing. Zach helped her refine her business plans, his analytical mind a perfect foil for her creative hustle. Anna brought a warmth and spontaneity into his structured life that he never knew he needed. In these rooms, they built a foundation stronger than many public couples ever achieve. The secrecy, instead of straining them, bonded them. They were a team of two against the world. Yet the weight of the lie was a constant shadow. Anna would return home, flush with the happiness of her stolen days, only to have to flatten her expression. To answer Amber's casual, "How was your weekend?" with a rehearsed, "Oh, fine, just chilled." The guilt ate at her, especially given her past clashes with Amber over honesty. She was living the very deception her mother feared most. But the alternative, presenting Zach to her family under the glare of potential cameras and immediate, intense judgment, felt like risking something too precious, too fragile. She convinced herself it was temporary, just until they were solid enough to withstand the hurricane of family opinion and public gossip. For months, Anna Johnston lived in two parallel worlds. One was bright, loud, and filmed. The world of family barbecues, sibling squabbles, and her mother Amber's watchful, organizing gaze. The other was hushed, private, and profound. A world of whispered conversations, planned rendezvous, and Zach's steady, grounding presence. Juggling them was becoming a full-time, soul-crushing job. The initial thrill of the secret was curdling into a constant, low-grade anxiety. Every family moment was now a performance, and every performance required a lie. The near misses began to pile up, each one a heart-stopping jolt. Like the time Trent suggested a spontaneous family dinner at a new Atlanta steakhouse. The very restaurant where Anna and Zach had shared a private anniversary dinner the week before. Anna had to feign a sudden violent migraine, begging off and spending the night sick with real worry, not illness. Or the time Elizabeth, ever perceptive, noticed an unfamiliar, expensive men's cufflink in Anna's car, a gift from Zach. Anna's hastily invented story about finding it at a thrift store was met with a skeptical, lingering look. The biggest strain was on her relationship with Amber. Past conflicts had often stemmed from Anna's perceived lack of communication or defiance. Now, Anna was actively, meticulously deceiving her. The guilt was a physical weight. She'd catch her mother looking at her with a mix of concern and confusion, as if sensing a part of her daughter had drifted beyond her reach. "You've been distant, Anna," Amber would say during one of their rare solo chats. "Is everything okay with your business? Are you seeing someone?" The direct question would send ice through Anna's veins. "No, Mom," she'd reply, forcing a laugh. "Just tired. Just busy building my life." It was the most painful lie of all. Zach, for his part, hated it. The banker who valued transparency and integrity in his professional life was now complicit in the web of deceit targeting the woman he loves family. He saw the toll it took on Anna. "Let me meet them," he'd urge during their secret weekends. "Let's just tell them. I can handle it." But Anna's fear was paralyzing. She'd seen how potential romantic partners were scrutinized on the show, how family opinions were formed and broadcast to millions. What if they didn't approve of Zach? What if the dynamic changed everything? What if the pressure made him walk away? Her fear of losing the pure thing they had built was greater than her pain at lying. So the lies continued. She became an expert in evasion, in crafting dull, believable alibis. But the cost was a growing isolation. She was pulling away from her siblings, dodging group chats, becoming a ghost in her own family's narrative to protect the one story that truly felt like her own. She was living a heartbreaking lie, and the emotional ledger was tipping into the red. Something, eventually, had to give. It started with a feeling, a deep internal shift in Anna, at first, attributed to stress. The exhaustion from the double life, the constant anxiety. But then came the nausea, subtle at first, then unmistakable one morning, then the missed period. A cold, creeping dread began to pool in her stomach, a knowing that bypassed logic and went straight to primal fear. She ran through the dates in her mind, the careful weekends, the precautions they'd taken that had, on one tired, wine-softened evening, been forgotten. A single miscalculation in their fortress of secrecy. The purchase was an exercise in surreal horror. Sunglasses on, baseball cap pulled low, paying in cash at a self-checkout, her heart hammering against her ribs as if trying to escape. The drive to a generic highway rest stop bathroom felt like an out-of-body experience. This was not how it was supposed to be. Not like this. Not alone, in a stark, echoing tile room that smelled of antiseptic, with trucks rumbling by outside. Time stopped. The 3 minutes on the digital timer were an eternity. She sat on the closed toilet lid, head in her hands, unable to look. Her mind was a cyclone of terrifying images. Amber's devastated face, the headlines, The judgment from fans, the crushing disappointment in Trent's eyes. And Zach, what would he say? This would upend his orderly life, his career. Would he see it as a trap? The ultimate consequence of their beautiful hidden mistake. A soft beat broke the silence. Anna's breath hitched. Slowly, so slowly, she turned her head and looked. There it was. Not a faint line, but a bold, unequivocal declaration. Pregnancy. The word seemed to scream in the silent room. All the air left Anna's lungs. The secret wasn't hers to keep anymore. It had a heartbeat now. It had a future. Her first emotion wasn't joy, but a tidal wave of sheer, unadulterated panic. Her carefully constructed world of hotel rooms and cover stories vaporized in an instant, replaced by a terrifying new reality. She didn't cry. She was too shocked for tears. She mechanically wrapped the test in a wad of toilet paper, shoved it deep into her purse, and walked back to her car on numb legs. Sitting in the driver's seat, she finally looked at her phone. Dozens of unread messages. A group chat with her siblings planning a birthday. A check-in from Amber. The normalcy of it felt like a cruel joke. Her thumb hovered over Zach's name in her encrypted app. This was the moment. The lie was over. She typed 3 words, her fingers trembling. We need to talk. She couldn't say it over text. It had to be face-to-face. She started the car. Her destination no longer a secret love nest, but a confrontation that would determine the rest of their lives. The hidden romance had created the ultimate undeniable evidence. The 2 lines on that test weren't just a biological result. They were a detonation charge under the foundation of the Johnston family's public image, and under Anna and Zach's private world. The drive to meet Zach was a blur of highway lights and racing thoughts. Anna had booked a private dining room in a restaurant they'd never used before, breaking their own pattern. This wasn't a date, it was a tribunal. When Zach arrived, he knew instantly. Her face, usually lit with a secret smile for him, was pale, her eyes red-rimmed from suppressed tears. Before he could even sit, the words tumbled out in a choked whisper. Zach, I'm pregnant. Silence hung between them for a long moment, heavy and thick. Anna braced for the worst, for hesitation, for panic, for questions about certainty. But Zach, a man who valued logic and order, did something profoundly human. He reached across the table, took both of her shaking hands in his, and looked directly into her eyes. Okay, he said, his voice firm and quiet. Okay, first breathe. We are in this together. Whatever this is, it's ours. His reaction wasn't one of uncomplicated joy, but of immediate, steadfast responsibility and partnership. He asked the practical questions: how she was feeling when she took the test, if she'd seen a doctor. His banker's mind was already shifting from crisis management to strategic planning. But the core message was clear: he was not leaving. The fortress they built for 2 would now shelter 3. His steadfastness gave Anna the courage for the far more terrifying task, telling her family. There was no good way to do it. A phone call felt cowardly. A text was unthinkable. It had to be in person, and it had to be with Zach by her side. He insisted. I won't let you face that alone, he said. It's time I stepped out of the shadows. The family meeting was called under the vague, urgent premise of something important about Anna. The living room, usually a site of chaotic family warmth, felt like a courtroom. Amber and Trent sat together on a large sofa, their expressions wary. The siblings lingered in the periphery, sensing the gravity. Anna, with Zach standing silently supportive beside her, took a shuddering breath. Mom, Dad, everyone. There's no easy way to say this. I'm pregnant. The words fell into the room like stones. Amber Johnston did not yell. The silence that followed was more devastating than any outburst. The color drained from her face as she processed not just the pregnancy, but the presence of a complete stranger, a tall, well-dressed man, standing in her living room as the obvious father. The betrayal of the secret relationship cut deeper, perhaps, than the pregnancy itself. How long? Amber finally asked, her voice terrifyingly quiet, her eyes locked on Zach. Months, Anna whispered. The word hung in the air. Months. A double life, right under their roof, filmed for a national audience. Trent was the first to speak to Zach, his tone low and serious. What are your intentions? It was an old-fashioned question, laden with paternal protectiveness and brewing anger. Zach, to his credit, didn't flinch. He met Trent's gaze. Sir, my intention is to marry Anna and to support my child. I love your daughter. I'm deeply sorry for the secrecy. That was my fault as much as hers. We were trying to protect what we had before exposing it to everything. He gestured slightly, encompassing the house. The implied cameras, the public scrutiny. The meeting dissolved into a storm of tears, pointed questions, and hurt feelings. Amber was heartbroken by the deception. The siblings were shocked. But amidst the anger, other emotions flickered. The reality of a new life, a grandchild, was beginning to permeate the shock. The scandal was real, the hurt was deep. But the undeniable fact was that Anna was having a baby, and the man beside her, scandalous secret and all, was not running. In the raw, silent days following the confession, the Johnston family fortress went into lockdown. Not the physical one, but an emotional one. Group texts were silent. Planned family gatherings were postponed. Amber and Trent were processing a tsunami of emotions. Betrayal, fear for their daughter's future, concern for their public legacy, and beneath it all, a dawning, reluctant awareness of an impending grandchild. For Anna and Zach, floating in the uneasy limbo they created, a critical question now demanded an answer. What next? For Zach, the path was clear, but his motivations were scrutinized, even by himself. He loved Anna. That was the undeniable bedrock truth he returned to every time doubt whispered. But was proposing now the right expression of that love? Or was it a reactive move? A bid to legitimize the situation in the eyes of her traditional family and a judgmental public. The banker in him ran the cost-benefit analysis. Marriage would provide legal security for the child, merge assets practically, and potentially mollify the Johnstons. But the man in him knew that a proposal born from pressure would poison everything. He didn't ask Trent for permission. The traditional gesture felt hypocritical after months of secrecy. Instead, he requested a private meeting with both Amber and Trent. It was a bravely direct move. In a quiet booth at a restaurant far from cameras, the 28-year-old banker faced the parents of the woman he'd gotten pregnant. I understand I have no right to ask for your blessing, he began, his voice steady but earnest. I've broken your trust before I even earned it. But I am asking for your understanding. I intend to spend my life making Anna happy and providing for our child. My intention is to propose to her, not because we have to, but because I cannot imagine my future without doing it. I am committed to earning your trust, however long it takes. It wasn't a full absolution, but it was a first step. Amber, seeing the sincerity in his eyes and the clear, responsible plan he outlined for their future, felt the first crack in her wall of anger. Trent respected the directness. The proposal itself was not a grand public spectacle. It was a private echo of their secret world. Zach took Anna back to the quiet, scenic cabin where they'd spent their first real weekend alone. There, by a crackling fire, he didn't get down on one knee with dramatic flair. He simply held her hands, recapped their crazy journey, and said, "This wasn't the plan, but you are my queen. Every version of my future starts with you. Anna, will you marry me?" The ring was perfect, elegant, solid, a promise of the stable life he offered. When Anna called her parents, the engagement ring on her finger, the reaction was mixed, but thawing. Amber's voice was tight with emotion, but she said, "If he makes you happy and is committed to that baby, then we will support him." It was conditional, but it was a lifeline. Trent's congratulations were gruff but genuine. The public announcement, however, was a carefully crafted piece of diplomacy. A joint statement from the Johnston family and the couple was released, acknowledging the happy, private engagement of Anna and Zach and asking for privacy and kindness as they prepared for their expanding family. It framed the pregnancy within the context of the engagement, an attempt to steer the narrative from scandal to accelerated blessing. But within the family and among fans, the question lingered. Was this a true love story or a strategic marriage to clean up a mess? The engagement was real. The ring was on her finger. But the trial by fire for Zach was only just beginning. With the engagement official, Zach Whitman was no longer just the secret banker boyfriend. He was the fiancé, the expectant father, and the newest, tallest, and most scrutinized recruit to the Johnston family army. His trial period had begun. This wasn't about love. Anna had given him that. This was about integration. Could an average-sized outsider from a world of spreadsheets and silence truly become part of America's most famous little family? The initiation was relentless. It started with the simple, overwhelming force of Johnston family life. Zach's quiet, orderly existence was bombarded by the beautiful chaos of weekly dinners where 5 siblings, 2 parents, and multiple conversations overlapped at deafening decibels. He learned to duck through doorframes he once strode under, to sit carefully on furniture not built for his frame, and to master the art of the little people hookup, a supportive, non-patronizing way to help if asked. He listened more than he spoke, absorbing the family's unique dynamic. Amber was his toughest critic and most valuable potential ally. She watched him like a hawk. Did he truly see Anna as an equal partner or as a damsel in distress? She tested him, assigning him practical tasks, fixing a wobbly step, helping reorganize the garage, not just to see his skills, but his attitude. Was he resentful? Did he feel above manual labor? To her growing surprise, Zach approached every task with the same quiet competence he used in his job. He didn't perform for praise. He simply got it done. The cameras were another layer of trial. The show's producers, sensing gold in this storyline, were suddenly ever present. For Zach, who valued privacy, this was the most alien element. His first solo confessional was a masterclass in guarded diplomacy. "I'm focused on supporting Anna and preparing for our child," he'd say, deflecting personal questions. He learned to exist alongside the lenses without letting them define him, a skill the Johnstons had mastered over years. His breakthrough moment came not with Amber or Trent, but with Jonah. During a casual conversation about business, Zach, using his expertise, gave Jonah a few shrewd, off-the-cuff tips about financial planning for his own ventures. It was advice devoid of condescension, pure professional respect. Jonah, often the quiet observer, later told Amber, "He's sharp, Mom, and he doesn't treat us like we're made of glass." That endorsement carried weight. Slowly, the skepticism thawed. Trent began asking for his opinion on household investments. Elizabeth sought his advice on a college course selection. He became Uncle Zach to Emma and Alex, who loved that he could lift them to reach the highest shelves. He was earning his stripes, not through grand gestures, but through consistent, quiet presence. As Anna's pregnancy progressed, and the March 2026 wedding date solidified on the calendar, a sense of fragile new normalcy had settled over the Johnstons. Zach was no longer the outsider. He was the guy who grilled at family functions, and whose phone Amber would now call directly for tech support. But Amber Johnston, the family's architect, was not one to let bygones be bygones without a definitive, concrete act of closure. Her forgiveness, when it came, wouldn't be just words. It would be a foundation, literally. The planning began in total secrecy. While Anna and Zach were looking at modest rental properties and browsing Pinterest for nursery ideas in 2-bedroom apartments, Amber was working with a top real estate agent and a trusted financial advisor. She wasn't just browsing, she was on a mission. The betrayal of the secret had cut deep, but the sight of her pregnant daughter, truly happy and building a stable life with a man who had proven his worth had softened her heart in a profound way. This gift would be more than a wedding present. It would be an investment in her grandchild's future, a tangible symbol of her full, unconditional acceptance, and a statement to the world that the Johnston family stood united. The property she chose was perfect. 20 minutes from the main Johnston home, close but independent. It had a sprawling, accessible floor plan, a gorgeous kitchen for gatherings, and a nursery with a sun-drenched window. The price tag hovered just over $1 million, a staggering sum, but for Amber, it represented security. It was a house where her grandchild would take its first steps, where Christmases would be hosted, where Anna could finally have a forever home that was entirely hers, not a temporary stop or a secret haven. The reveal was orchestrated with the precision of a military operation. Under the guise of a casual Sunday drive to look at dream homes, Amber and Trent led a very pregnant Anna and a confused Zach to the property. As they pulled up the long driveway, Anna's breath caught. "Mom, this is way out of our league," she laughed nervously. Amber just smiled, a set of keys glinting in her hand. "Come inside," she said. As they stood in the vast living room, Amber turned to them. Her voice was thick with emotion, but clear. "This isn't a dream home. This is your home. Paid for. A fresh start. No mortgages, no landlords. A safe, beautiful place for our grandbaby to grow up." She placed the keys in Anna's trembling hand, then turned to Zach. "Welcome to the family, officially. Now you have a porch to fix and a yard to mow." The reaction was pure, unadulterated shock, then overwhelming joy. Zach, utterly speechless for the first time since the pregnancy reveal, simply pulled Amber into a heartfelt, fierce hug, a hug that sealed every repaired bond. Anna sobbed into her father's shoulder. The message was unmistakable. The past was forgiven. The future was being built together. The gift sent shockwaves through the family group chat, and it eventually became public through the fan base. It was a declaration. Amber Johnston wasn't just accepting the situation, she was championing it, putting her money where her heart was, and ensuring her daughter's controversial love story had the fairest tale beginning imaginable. And so the day arrived, not with the anxiety of hidden secrets, but with the radiant clarity of a public vow. The winding, dramatic path that began with a spilled coffee and lived in stolen moments had led here to this sun-drenched March afternoon. Anna Johnston, 30 weeks pregnant, glowed with a beauty that was more than physical. It was the peace of a woman finally living in truth, surrounded by the unconditional love of her family. Today, the secret would be sanctified. The scandal would be transformed into sacrament. The morning was a whirlwind of joyful chaos in the bridal suite. Emma and Elizabeth, her maids of honor, fussed over her veil. Amber, her eyes misty, carefully clasped a borrowed blue sapphire necklace around her daughter's throat, the something blue and a piece of her own heart. The wedding dress was a masterpiece of flowing ivory silk, elegantly designed to cradle her baby bump, not as something to hide, but as a celebrated part of the day. As she looked in the mirror, Anna saw not the rebellious middle child or the nervous secret keeper, but a woman, a mother, a bride. For Zach, standing at the simple wooden archway, the gravity of the moment was profound. He was not just gaining a wife. He was gaining a sprawling, loud, wonderful family and a child he already loved fiercely. As the processional music began, his composure wavered, his eyes glistening. The doors opened, and there she was. On Trent's arm, Anna began her walk. Every guest rose, but the most powerful reaction was on Zach's face. A look of pure, unguarded awe and love that erased any lingering doubts about his motives. This was not a man fulfilling an obligation. This was a man witnessing his destiny. The ceremony was intimate and heartfelt. They wrote their own vows. Anna's voice trembled as she spoke of secret rooms becoming a foundation for an open, honest life. Zach's voice was firm as he promised to cherish not only her, but the unique, brilliant family he was joining. and the child they would soon meet. When the officiant pronounced them husband and wife, and Zach kissed his bride, the entire barn erupted in cheers and tears, a collective release of all the past tension. The reception was a Johnston family special in the best way. Loud, full of laughter, deeply emotional speeches, and epic dancing. Amber and Trent toasted the couple, their words speaking of hard-earned pride and boundless hope. In that decorated barn, under the twinkling lights, the narrative was officially rewritten. What was once a forbidden romance and an illegitimate pregnancy was now simply the Anna and Zach love story. And that is the incredible, untold story of Anna Johnston and Zach Whitman. But this is Flix, and we don't just tell stories. We talk about what they mean. So let's break this down. Did this marriage save Anna's reputation? Or did her pregnancy scandal force a rushed wedding? Was the clock the real driver here? Or was this always the destination? Can a love born in total secrecy ever truly be healthy? Or is the fact that it survived the ultimate test of its strength? Amber's million-dollar gift, a beautiful blessing, or the ultimate guilt payment for her initial harshness? Was it about buying a happy ending for the family's public image? And the biggest question of all, what does this mean for the future of the 7 Little Johnstons? With Anna starting her own family unit, will the show's dynamic shift forever? Is this the beginning of a new era, or the start of the original family's slow fade? We want to hear what you think. Drop your answers in the comments below. Which theory do you believe? What was the most shocking moment for you? Don't forget to smash that like button if this deep dive surprised you. And subscribe to Flix for the real, unfiltered stories behind your favorite reality TV moments. Hit the bell so you never miss an upload. More update. 7 Little Johnstons. Anna Johnston shares beautiful Christmas photos with her real family. Anna Johnston not included in family's Christmas photo shoot. Fans think it's hard not to judge. And Anna's new boyfriend gets the Hades stamp of approval amid family feud. Trent, Amber, and Anna finally meet up amid rising family tension. I will explain everything. The fandom already has a lot on its plate with the continuing 7 Little Johnstons drama over the past few months. They are getting more and more worried about the Johnston family drama. At this point, the family's connections are just a back and forth of allegations. Some family members still don't agree with the family memo to ignore Anna, though. Aunt Haiti, Anna's cousin Ella, and Carrington are all members. Anna is quite happy that these few extended family members are always there for her when her own parents aren't. Fans were worried that Anna would be alone on Christmas when the Johnstons left her out of the family Christmas photos. But it looks like she had a really merry Christmas without having to deal with Johnston's toxic behavior every day. These days, Anna looks to be doing well. Also, she just disclosed a big change in her life before the holidays. The star of 7 Little Johnstons just uploaded a bunch of tales on her social media, officially introducing her new boyfriend. In those pictures, she seemed quite close and comfortable with a man named Jeffrey. Also, things are becoming serious because Jeffrey just met Anna's family, or what's left of it. Anna, her aunt Heidi, and her cousin Ella all met up at a bar not too long ago. Jeffrey, being a gentleman, went out with the ladies that night. Anna shared a lot of pictures from the hangout that clearly showed how much fun they were having. Fans have guessed that Heidi likes the new guy because of this. The stars of 7 Little Johnstons always go all out for Christmas, which is a big holiday. This year also brought a lot of new things to the family's life, which they were quite happy about. But they kept purposefully leaving Anna out of these events. Fans have also said bad things about the family for leaving Anna out. The Johnstons, on the other hand, kept going and made the family split last longer. They didn't invite Anna to Leland's birthday party, Thanksgiving dinner, or the yearly family Christmas photograph. Fans believed that this holiday season would bring about forgiveness and peace. But Amber kept making the family drama worse, which made them unhappy. As fans thought, They ignored Anna again this Christmas. But it looks like she has the upper hand this holiday season because she had a great Christmas. Aunt Edie put up a picture of the whole family on Facebook from their Christmas party. Yes, Aunt Edie took her in, just as she usually does, unlike Anna's parents. Fans have also said that Anna appeared a lot happier this Christmas. They also applauded Heidi for always being the most professional of the three. I'm so glad that there are people who really care about her. Props to Heidi, an admirer wrote. Props to Heidi, said another enthusiast. Anna Johnston not included in family's Christmas photo shoot. Fans think it's hard not to judge. 7 Little Johnstons fans are upset that Trent and Amber are ignoring their oldest daughter Anna on yet another special occasion. They chose to completely ignore her as the family grew more and more apart. The truth, the TV stars went on with their lives as if the 7th family member never existed. Fans have already seen all the fights between Anna and the rest of the family. She can't figure out why she's being treated this way. The reality TV star chose to take a sabbatical and set limits with her family. But fans are sad that Anna isn't getting the affection she deserves. Did Trent and Amber really end all contact? What truly happened? Amber and Trent from 7 Little Johnstons have been too stubborn to fix things with Anna. They aren't giving her any chances to feel like an outsider or add fuel to the flames. When the reality TV stars chose to ignore her on Thanksgiving, they went too far. Trent and Amber made plans for a special Chinese-themed supper for Alex and Emma. They spent the night with their kids, Liz and Bryce among them. But the reality TV stars didn't invite Anna and blamed her for everything. Trent and Amber said that their oldest daughter may come over whenever she wanted, and that the door is always open for her, even though they didn't invite her. Anna spent the night alone with her animals. She made the special salad that her Nana makes every year, and then watched the Thanksgiving parade. This year, Trent and Amber have some huge plans for Christmas. Even though there was a lot of drama with Anna, they have been busy celebrating the holiday with their family. The star of 7 Little Johnstons has been ignoring her all the time. Trent and Amber recently organized a spectacular photo shoot based on the nativity scene in the Bible. They got everyone together, even Liz, Bryce, and baby Layden. The stars of the reality show came up with the whole scene and dressed up for it. It's really hard when you have such a big group, Amber said. She talked about how hard it is when they bring animals to the photo shoot. The star of TLC had a hard time getting everyone, even the animals, to look at the cameras and do what they were meant to do. Jonah, Alex, and Emma were all there for the unique photo shoot. I think the goats, cats, and everyone's costumes helped keep Layden pretty well distracted for the picture, Liz said. Amber felt proud that this year's photo shoot was better than last year's. The teaser didn't say why Anna wasn't there. Fans, on the other hand, were angry with Trent and Amber for labeling it a family photo. One fan said, "I feel so bad for Anna. It's not right." Another person said that Trent and Amber were really brave to act like a loving family despite injuring their daughter. Another user said, "It makes me sick that they made a scene from the Bible with Anna." Fans of 7 Little Johnstons still don't know if Trent and Amber really invited Anna this time, but they don't like seeing the family like this. Anna's new boyfriend gets the Heidi stamp of approval amid family feud. The family conflict in the 7 Little Johnstons is real. Every new family drama makes it more crazy. Anna wants to make up and go on, but Amber keeps the fight going, which makes it hard. But Anna is happy that some of her extended family is always there for her when her own parents aren't. They helped her and made her feel at home without being too much. They didn't force themselves into her life or look at every little thing she did, unlike Amber. Aunt Heidi and Anna's cousins Ella and Carrington are 3 of these family members. Anna, Heidi, and Ella went out with Anna's new boyfriend not too long ago. Read on to find out what Aunt Heidi thinks of him. Anna Johnston is doing rather well now that she's away from her toxic family. It also looks like there's something new in her life this holiday season. Recently, the star of 7 Little Johnstons uploaded a lot of stories. One of the stories definitely got the attention of fans. There was a really cute image of Anna in the tail, posing with a male. The story was part of a template for stories. People were posting pictures of their Christmas date with a sticker that said, "I'm probably with." In the picture, she looked really happy next to the man who grinned at the camera. She also made it official by posting a picture of herself and her boyfriend, Jeffrey, looking comfy. So Anna Johnston is no longer available. It's another day of turmoil with the 7 Little Johnstons. It doesn't look like there will be any signs of peace anytime soon. Right now, the family's connections are mostly just back and forth with accusations. But there is a lot to be happy about. Both Anna and the 7 Little Johnstons fandom were surprised by how happy this holiday made them. Anna is clearly doing well away from her family's bad behavior. Even though she can't get away from the family strife, she has made a simple home where her parents can't constantly watch and criticize her. The fans, on the other hand, have picked a side, Anna's. They have publicly ostracized the Johnstons because they were mean to Anna. Things were finally looking up for Anna until an unexpected chapter began to unfold. Love has been knocking on Anna's door again after her painful breakup with her longtime boyfriend Darius. Fans might remember that she just hard-launched her new boyfriend, Jeffrey, before the holidays. Things are already becoming serious because Jeffrey recently met Anna's family, or what's left of it. Anna and her cousins, Aunt Heidi and Ella, just got together at a bar. But Jeffrey, being a gentleman, went with the ladies. Anna put up a bunch of images from the hangout. All of the women seemed like they were having a fantastic time. One picture showed all the women and him smiling at the camera. Fans have guessed that Heidi likes the new guy. Trent, Amber, and Anna finally meet up amid rising family tension. Fans of the 7 Little Johnstons have been watching the family drama play out for a long time now. They have said that the family has kept the fight going for too long. A lot of fans have also said that Amber makes the family drama worse. Fans also said she was gently controlling every situation. Anna's family has clearly cut ties with her because she chose to be herself. They have been making sure she knows she isn't welcome by not inviting her to any family events. In the middle of all the familial strife, Amber and Trent shock viewers by saying they love Anna. Anna, and even the whole fandom, realized what was really going on. Now that they have met, stay reading to find out what inspired. As fans of 7 Little Johnstons may remember, Trent and Amber wanted to meet Anna somewhere that wasn't too close to the holidays. They claimed on screen that they wanted to offer their family a second opportunity. But both Anna and the fans were on edge after Amber's strange actions. After then, Anna finally showed her parents' true colors. She said that her parents merely wanted to see her for the show because a fight would get more viewers and that it wasn't really to get back together. She also chose not to go out of her way anymore after trying too hard to make things right. Fans had already guessed this and quickly went to the comments area to share their ideas and views and criticize the Johnstons. The family drama on 7 Little Johnstons recently took another turn for the worse. The whole family has been putting all the blame on Anna. Fans might remember how the family has been keeping her away from family events on purpose and then blaming her for not going. Fans have been really harsh on the family because it isn't working well. The family, on the other hand, stuck to their old habits. At Leighton's first birthday party, Liz ignored Anna. Next, the parents did the same thing. They uninvited her to Thanksgiving and left her out of the family's traditional Christmas photo shoot. But they shocked viewers by saying they wanted to see Anna again to try to fix things. TLC's new video preview showed Trent, Amber, and Anna finally meeting on neutral ground. When they talked about the long-running family drama, they got right to the point. When Amber kept cutting Anna off to make her point, both fans and Anna were upset. The parents wanted to know if Anna really wanted to be in a relationship. Anna told the family that she had missed them very much and wanted to keep in touch with them. She also said that Amber and Trent's persistent watching of her made her mental condition worse. Fans, on the other hand, said that the parents had promised them they would be there when she was ready, but they also scolded her for hurting her siblings and not knowing her niece. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.